welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Cheyenne. I'm the face behind and founder of Soulful Soothe, which is a place where women can come soothe the soul. And if you are returning, hey girl, hey, thank you so much for rocking with your girl, spending time and coming back to another video. I appreciate it. Today, we are going to be continuing the Astrology 101 series, where I give you a base level of knowledge of astrology. Today, we're going to be talking about all of the different groupings that you might find in astrology. I'm talking dualities, polarities, quadruplicities, triplicities. We're going to be breaking those down to the bare bones so that you can better understand what the hell even is going on when you come across an astrology TikTok. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First, we're going to be talking about dualities. So I'm going to pop on the screen right now a list of all of the masculine and all of the feminine zodiac signs. There are 12 zodiac signs, and with this group of dualities, there are two groups, masculine and feminine, or male and female. Now, when I use these terms, I'm not talking about gender identity or gender expression. In astrology, in spirituality, when we're talking about the universe, we don't look at gender as a legitimate thing. It's kind of just however we choose to perceive things. So in spirituality, when we're talking about male or masculine traits, we really just mean signs, zodiacs that are more forward-facing, willing to just go out and get it, more self-enterprising, self-motivating, very active. When we talk about female or feminine zodiacs, we really just mean that those are the more attracting and attractive zodiacs. We really just mean that those people with those placements tend to get what they want by being more alluring instead of being more forceful. I really hope that that makes sense. I hope that puts things into context a little bit better. Now let's talk about the triplicities. Now, triplicities is really just a fancy term for the elements. I'm going to pop on the screen right now for those of us who are visual learners what the triplicities are. So as I've said before, there are 12 zodiac signs. Another grouping that we've given them is elements. So we have the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We have the earth signs, Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. We have the water signs, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And we have the air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. These groupings just mean that the three zodiacs that are within each of the triplicity groups, they share qualities from the same element. So the fire element is thought of as more active, more enterprising. And you'll notice in a later group that there will be matchings between two of the triplicities. So fire is to earth what water is to air. I hope that didn't go a little too deep for you. We'll pick that back up in a second. So with fire signs, we like to think of those signs as more enterprising, more active, lots of energy, more passion. Air signs are more intellectual, and they also have passion, so they move very quickly. Now on the foil of that, we have the earth and the air signs, or the earth and the water signs, excuse me. Earth signs are some of the more slower moving signs of the zodiac. They like to look at things from concept to creation or concept to reality, but they're really thinking about the entire process from the beginning before they even start. They're also more comfortable with taking a more methodical approach. Whereas with water signs, water represents emotions and our internal landscape, how we really feel about things. So these signs tend to feel things very deeply and be more comfortable with exploring their emotions, as well as listening to and holding space for other people's emotions that society as a whole may think, oh, well, that's too emotional. You're thinking about things too deep. We don't want to go there. Water signs can hold the space for that. Now, I believe that this is truly a beautiful segue to talk about the polarities, which in pop astrology is commonly known as the sister signs. So, as I said before, air and fire, or fire is to air what earth is to water. So, with the sister signs, you'll notice that each sign has a sister or a polarity. This just means there's two different sides to the same coin. So because I started with air and fire, let's go with it. So Aries' sister sign is Libra. Actually, I'm just going to pop it on the screen what all the sister signs are rather than just trying to rattle them all off, because I feel like I'll stumble, and that's not pretty. So the sister signs, like I said, just mean that there's two sides to the same coin. I also like to look at it as what one sign is known and loved for, the other sign is known and criticized for. Now, going along with the word criticize, let's look at Pisces and Virgo, that polarity. So Pisces and Virgo are sister signs. Pisces is a sign that is ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. So that means that Pisces is very comfortable with thinking out big picture, going very, very deep into astrology or non-tangible things, going very deep into the realms of spirituality, very deep into the realms of occult symbolism, and just everything that is not necessarily scientific. So we love Pisces for being that kind of weirdo who can just look at you and read your aura, or look at you and tell it, you know, you might have some solar plexus imbalance right now. The sign that can feel and intuitively know what it is that's going on with another person's emotional landscape. Whereas with Virgo has the same ability to think big picture. However, Virgo is often criticized for paying too much attention onto the minute details within the big picture. I hope that example makes sense and gives you a little bit more insight into how the sister signs can play off of strengths and weaknesses between the two of each other, and gives you a little bit more insight as to why, if you've only attracted partners in your sister sign, why those relationships might not have worked out. Now let's talk about quadruplicities. Whew, that is a big, big word for before 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But quadruplicities is just a fancy term for another grouping that we have within astrology. There are 3 quadruplicities: cardinal, fixed, and mutable. So cardinal signs are more of those self-motivating, enterprising people. They're the people who are most comfortable with going out and actively pursuing things. They don't have, well, I won't say they don't have, but usually they don't struggle with social anxiety. They don't struggle with going up to a random stranger and saying, hey, you said such and such, like, I'm really curious about this. Like, they're very comfortable with being in new environments and new situations and trying to navigate those choppy waters. Fixed signs, on the other hand, are more comfortable when they know the landscape of where they're at. They are more comfortable with having more of a routine. They're more comfortable with being in places where they know exactly what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and they don't really like it when you deviate from a plan. They're also a little non-compromising, and I don't say that in a bad way. It's just that fixed signs know what they like, and they don't really want to explore outside of what they've already established that they liked. Now with mutables are the exact opposite of both of these signs. Mutables are more mutable, they're more malleable, they are more adaptive, they're more prone to change, they're more accepting and open to being in new environments and figuring out how they can maneuver that new situation. I like to think of mutables as the chameleons of the zodiacs. They are most comfortable with going in any situation and learning what it is that they need to learn to survive in that situation. Whereas a fixed sign, they may be taken out of a place that they're comfortable with, put in a place that they have no idea about, or a place where they're like, oh my God, this is outside of my wheelhouse. A fixed sign is more apt to try to apply outdated modalities or outdated ways of thinking to that new environment and utterly failing. And I'm not saying that as like shade, I'm just saying that as like, that's how we look at the zodiacs. So just to recap, we've talked about dualities, the male and female or masculine and feminine traits of the zodiacs. We've talked about triplicities, which are elements, the earth, fire, air, and water. We've talked about polarities, which are the sister signs, and we've talked about quadruplicities, which are cardinal, mutable, and fixed. I hope that this vocabulary has given you more of a base level of knowledge of astrology, and I hope that you are able to take this information and use it to your personal benefit. If you have any questions at all about anything that I've said in this video, feel free to drop them in the comments. Just for transparency's sake, my main source for this entire series is the only astrology book you'll ever need by Joanna Martine Woolfolk. I have a link to that book in the description, just in case like you are like, okay, I want to be able to read this information for myself. That link is available in the description. If you would like to book a reading with me, the link to do that is in the description as well. Until the next video, I love you so much. Thank you for rocking with your girl, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Ciao.